bastard!
Vacuum lines that run right on top of the transmission that bring the intake. And the only way I say to get it out.
Okay.
Nope, nope, nope.
What?
Stop.
What?
Out.
What?
Nope. Trust me, I'm doing you a favor here. No.
Welcome to Hoovie's Garage, the dumbest automotive channel in all of YouTube. And no, this isn't a rerun from an old Hoovie's Garage episode. I was actually dumb enough to buy another cheap Bentley Continental GT, and I did this for two reasons. Number one, they are getting really cheap. It's easy to find an early Bentley like this for under $30,000. And the other reason I did it is because we are at the end of an era when it comes to the V12. Mercedes went out with their V12 in 2019. BMW in 2022, and now Bentley in 2023. Their final offering in the Continental GT with a W12 is this year. So 20 years of the Bentley Continental GT V12 is ending right now, but if you go to the very beginning of it, you can get a huge bargain. This Continental GT was the first offering from Bentley after it was acquired from Volkswagen in the late 1990s. Before this, Bentley and Rolls-Royce were the same company, building very expensive, but also pretty antiquated cars compared to the competition, the Germans specifically, and this was way different than any Bentley ever made before. These GTs started out at around $200,000, which was about half the price of the previous Continental, which was very antiquated and not nearly as powerful. And they had a big claim to fame with this car when it was unveiled. It was the fastest four-seat car in the world with a top speed of almost 200 miles per hour thanks to the W12 engine, which was developed by taking the VR6 Volkswagen motor and basically doubling it to make a W12. Horsepower around 560 and tons of torque thanks to it being a twin turbo car and all-wheel drive. So a very sophisticated car, very modern on top of that, and good for all year round driving. The Volkswagen engineering also brought in modern technology with all the gadgetry inside, which people were expecting more and more with luxury cars. It was less about luxury and quality and more about all the gizmos and entertainment. But to give Bentley or Volkswagen some credit, they did leave all the old school class, at least when it comes to the interior. And with that, let's start the tour. But before we see how truly dumb I am for buying another old Bentley, I would like to thank ShipStation for sponsoring this video. The holidays are the busiest time of year and you don't want to get stuck worrying about shipping orders. Let ShipStation do the heavy lifting so you and your team can put your time, money, and energy into other things that are more important. Plus, when it comes to those inevitable holiday returns, ShipStation automates, recommends exchanges, and gathers customer feedback. So even if they bought the wrong size or color, they'll still have a great experience. Whether you're shipping from your house or multiple warehouses, ShipStation can increase your holiday profitability. I've been using ShipStation to sell my Hoovie's Garage merch for years now, and it has no problem keeping up with the busy holiday season, and its simple setup process and dashboard that easily automates shipping tasks and manages orders means you won't feel overwhelmed when your business starts taking off. ShipStation provides effortless integration everywhere you sell online, including Amazon, Etsy, eBay, Shopify, and more. So in addition to managing orders, ShipStation prints labels, compares rates, optimizes every shipment, and automates delivery notifications. ShipStation also has industry-leading discount rates from UPS, USPS, DHL, and Global Post. Get discounts up to 89% off USPS and UPS rates. It's so easy to see why 130,000 companies have scaled their e-commerce business with ShipStation, and 98% of companies that stick with ShipStation for a year become customers for life. Let your customers shop risk-free this holiday season with ShipStation. Go to shipstation.com/Hoovies today to see for yourself. Now, let's see this Bentley. Now, I already know that I am way better off with this Bentley Continental GT than my old one that had spent 10 years in Russia, had been seized by the government at one point, and had its odometer rolled back 3 times before it found its way back to the United States. And then I was the idiot who bought it. I bought it at auction with a guarantee, not knowing in the fine print that Bentley was exempt from getting an auction guarantee. The seller obviously knew that and just absolutely scammed me. The car was pretty much unfixable. I sold it to Tavares. It was the worst loss I had ever taken on a car ever. Freddie had to swap the motor, among other things. But now here is round 2, and no, it's not perfect. It was $30,000 originally, but it had an airbag light. The seller said he would fix it, but the shop had the car for a month and didn't do a thing with it. So he discounted the car $2,000 with the airbag light and sold it to me as is. And it arrived and it doesn't have any extra issues. The only negatives are the fact that it has 80,000 miles, a bit more wear and tear because of the miles, and very little service history. But it is a Mulliner package car, which is awesome. This is around the second year when they offered the Mulliner package with the cooler wheels. As you can see here, the wheels have a little bit of light curb rash though, unfortunately. And the interior, well, you've got this beautiful diamond stitched leather inside. The interior, a major upgrade, which even this being almost 20 years old at this point, the interior still looks pretty timeless, very modern. Which is why when you buy one of these, you really do look like a baller on a budget. For less than a Toyota Camry, you get a Bentley that looks much, much newer. As Ed Bolin would say, it looks like you won the lottery 15 years ago. That's the best way to appear rich. Or 04 Rich is a very fun Facebook group that I love to follow where there's cars like this, heavily depreciated Mercedes. There's so many examples, Cadillac Escalades. But the Bentley has to be the king of the 04 Rich, and I think they did a great job of blending old and new here. Classic Bentley with modern technology. A simple LCD screen in the middle, but still normal analog gauges. The old school vents, which that's what these pullouts do. They open and close each vent. You have the Breitling clock up in the center console as well, with a very easy to use infotainment system, not a touchscreen. All these buttons correspond to doing something. Plenty of toggles, knobs, and buttons where you don't have to go through menus of an infotainment screen to say turn on your heated seats. Very simple system everywhere. Keyless go and active aerodynamics. You have a spoiler that pops up and down if you want it to, and you can adjust the dampening and the ride height. And since this is all-wheel drive, you really could drive this car year-round, which I guess is why it was a popular choice in Russia. But I try to forget that car. It traumatized me. It probably traumatized the car wizard way more. But you can see the active spoiler is right here at the top of the trunk, not the bottom. And you push the B logo, and the trunk pops up very, very slowly. Closing is also painfully slow and a bit finicky as well. It's all the electronic latches and things. This one's working just fine though. But if you look at it, it doesn't look like a 20-year-old design. The Bentley Continental GT has had a couple of facelifts, one complete redesign, but it mostly looks the same. So the car is aging very, very well. Now the coolest version has to be the Bentley Continental Super Sport. They had the Speed, and then the Super Sport was the top dog when it came to performance. It had some lightning, even though still a very heavy car, a lot more power, a more aggressive look. But what killed it for me is on most of them, they take away the back seat. You lose the practicality of 4 seats, and then you gain some discomfort with Bugatti Veyron-derived seats, which is cool to say, but when you sit in them, not all that comfortable. Of course, Volkswagen is the parent company of Bugatti as well, and if there's a car that has the most in common with a Bugatti, it's this. Instead of 16 cylinders and 4 turbos, you get 12 cylinders and 2 turbos, and it does a great job of getting this heavy thing up to speed. Now the hood latch is kind of funny. You pop it up with this B logo. A little hard to do one-handed, but there we go. And there is the very tightly packed 6-liter W12 twin-turbo Bentley. And this is the source for so many issues with so many owners, unfortunately, because there is just absolutely no room to work around here. A lot of the jobs are engine out. The engine has to be dropped out from the bottom, and just doing that is thousands of dollars. For one little sensor, thousands of dollars. A vacuum line, obviously you're not going to do one when it breaks. They're plastic. You want to do them all. Thousands of dollars in labor just to drop everything out. And that's where people get their butts absolutely kicked when it comes to maintenance. And my original goal was to buy one that already had this issue to where I could do the engine out, make videos on it, but people were way too proud of them money-wise. Either a dealer paid too much and got hung by it, or an owner who paid a lot of money for it back then had a major repair and was still trying to recover too much money. There was one in particular where I bought the Callaway Camaro. It was a car that I was trying to buy, but then they told me it had sold, and that's not true. The dealer decided to take it to the auction to sell it to where they don't have to disclose the issues, and basically passed a turd on to someone for actually 10 grand more than what they were asking for it. They lied to me when they said it was sold, because weeks later it was there and they hit the lottery, obviously, with some poor person who had to deal with some issue with the turbo, I think electronic, but once again it's buried in there to where it would require an engine out to fix. So I ended up paying the same money for this car that is running and driving beautifully, which honestly I have never been able to experience on an early Bentley Continental GT because mine was so badly broken. Vacuum lines, low compression, suspension issues, everything wrong with it to where it drove absolutely terribly. This one, it feels fantastic. So why don't we take it for a ride and take it up to the car wizards. Sorry, that closed a little strangely, but let's take it up to the car wizard and see what he thinks about it. Yeah, one thing I was never able to do with my old Bentley is this. I do that and it would just drive even slower, but this one, it's just amazing how quick this car is. The all-wheel drive makes sure it never slips despite all of the torque with that W12. And this big heavy thing still feels really big and really heavy, but it's still fun at the same time. It's a GT, it is a grand touring car, but it's an exciting grand touring car. And I guess that's why I've always been attracted to it, because I love a car that's really comfortable and fast, but I don't want it to beat me up at the same time. A harsh like GT3 Porsche or an AMG that's had the dial turned up just a little too much. Sure, it's fun on the track, but how often are you going to do that? Most of the time you'll be driving it around the streets, trying to park it, go to different places, and you're much more likely to do it in a car like this versus some Lamborghini or whatever. Now the big downside of this car is certainly the 81,000 miles. Even though the car doesn't look it as much, definitely doesn't drive like it, other than an airbag warning light, which I'm told is an airbag module that takes 4 hours to get to somewhere in the center console, and they just never got around to fixing it. Now it's my choice to take the car for less, take the discount rather than continue to wait, and that could have been a bad choice, but I tend to go the cheaper route up front and then pay for it later. Usually that's the case, but maybe not with this one. We'll see what the car wizard thinks, but to me, this is everything I was hoping and wanting in a cheap Bentley Continental GT. Just so nice.
Hey, Tyler.
Wizard!
Tracking lines are run right on top of the train
Okay.
Nope.
What?
Stop.
What?
Out.
What?
Nope. Trust me, I'm doing you a favor here. No. It just all came back to me all of a sudden. It's hit me the last time we went through this on one of these.
Well, this is different. It's a 2006. That's a 2004, the bad one that we had.
No. I think I'm going to have to turn this one down. Trust me, it's for the better good.
It runs fine. I don't think it needs the engine out, any of that kind of stuff. Really?
Nope.
I guess you're a good friend because you're not enabling my bad habits, but...
I'm not doing this because I dislike you or I'm angry. No.
Okay.
I'm not going down that road.
Okay, well, I'll see you later.
All right. Let Car Ninja have at it.
Jeez Louise. Well, that was quite a rejection. Actually kind of expected, because he did tell me that if I ever bought another one of these, he wouldn't work on it. It was quite traumatizing for both of us, but I guess I have a shorter memory than him, I don't know, or I just wanted to give the car another chance. And thankfully, I do have another mechanic that works on German cars. He's always worked on my BMWs because Wizard doesn't like those either, but his second favorite is Volkswagen and Audi products, which this one barely fits, so he's my last hope. Please, Car Ninja. Ninja, you're branching out into Buick Regals?
It's a good friend of mine.
Okay, well, the Bentley has been in here for more than 10 seconds. You're not shooing me out, so am I a good friend too?
Yes.
Is this enough of a Volkswagen product to where you'll work on it?
Yeah.
Okay.
What's wrong with it?
Well, the only thing that's wrong with it that I know of is an airbag light.
Oh.
Apparently it's a module that's deep inside of the car somewhere. But it seems to run a drive on 81,000 miles though, and not a lot of maintenance records, so yeah, it's 28 grand though.
Oh, let's see.
Yeah. Oh, see how the bee's happy to see you? It pops up.
It is a Volkswagen.
It is.
Yeah.
Two VR6s put together in a very, very tight package. Have you done an engine out on one of these yet?
No.
Oh my God.
Just emissions.
Yeah, but why so complicated?
German engineering, I guess.
Well, we know on the Audis, just with like a 2.7 liter, the nose has to come off
Yes.
to get to anything.
Anything, yes.
And on this, they didn't even make the nose possible to come off. You just have to drop the engine out. And that's the big struggle with these cars.
Yeah. Perfect. How is the oil in it? I really don't know.
I haven't checked.
It's full and brand new.
Sweet. How are we doing? Oh, oh no.
Yeah, the results are in. So you were more concerned about the airbag, right?
Is there any module that doesn't have a fault on it?
Well, if not, it wouldn't be your car. Right?
But there are no lights on other than the airbag.
Well, those are soft codes.
Ah.
Yeah.
So the control module is faulty, so that is accurate.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah.
And then what are the passive ones? The side airbag igniter?
I would ignore those
Mm-hmm.
because, I mean, it will just be because of the bad module.
Gotcha. What about the other error codes through everything?
Let me see, because like I said, those are soft codes. At some point, the battery went low, that's all.
I see.
Yeah. So nothing to worry about.
Good.
I'm gonna erase everything and see what comes back, you know?
Perfect. And do you have time to give it a looky-loo up on the lift?
Yeah, of course.
Sweet. Big old brakes, huh?
Plenty brakes. Plenty.
Yeah. Just looks like it was driven by a Californian who didn't care all that much, huh?
Yeah, but this is all Volkswagen. It's all Audi, you know?
It looks like straight out of a Passat or something?
More like A6. Bushings are good. You have a tiny leak on the transmission pan.
Well, I'm curious if you can see, because somewhere deep in there is the vacuum lines
Okay.
that are...
We can take the covers out and see, yeah.
Yeah, see if they're the original plastic ones, because if they are, I'm on borrowed time when it comes to that failure.
Oh, your rear brakes are low.
Okay.
They're about like 30% left.
What's the age on the tires? Because they've got some interesting cracking going on here.
Ooh, yes. Those are 2015.
Ah.
That's why. It's almost not safe to drive. Almost.
Yeah, I won't be doing any 200 mile an hour run.
No.
I won't be doing any 200 mile per hour runs anytime soon.
Please don't. No. Looking good in the back. So let me take this cover down.
Down she goes. Little extra passengers, but not too bad.
It's clean.
And so far, yeah, looking pretty good.
You are, yes. Yes.
So we have intercoolers, it looks like, on either side here,
They're very clean.
going up into some turbos, but very difficult to see much of anything, huh?
Pretty much, yeah. The belt looks good.
You wouldn't want to change that anyway.
Oh boy. Good luck on that. But no, it's good. Thank God. You do need an axle here, or the boot actually. It's pretty much gone. It does have a Volkswagen sticker.
Oh, really?
Yes.
So it'll match up to like a Passat 4Motion or an Audi or
We're
something?
gonna try to match it, yes. Look at that.
That's hilarious.
This transmission pan right here, which that's pretty much an Audi. It's a ZF.
I am really curious if that axle will match up to something really cheap.
I will look into it, yes.
All right, did you find it?
Well, if you cross-reference the number on AutoZone.
For a Volkswagen Phaeton.
Yeah.
That worked for 140 bucks. Very nice.
It's the same axle.
Oh, yeah, order it for sure.
All right.
I'm getting in the zone here. Oh. I looked up the airbag module. It was like $200 used. New, they were $750.
Not bad.
So is it okay to use a used module, you think?
We'll try it, yeah.
All right.
Yep.
So I guess my biggest expense would be the tires. The transmission service doesn't look that hard, right?
It's not, no.
All right. Well, might have a totally sorted car for under $2,000, which would mean under 30 grand with that check I got back. Not bad.
Yep, you're way ahead of the game.
I guess it just proves the point, like McLarens and other British cars, they're either really good or they're not. It's hit and miss really bad with them for whatever reason. This one, well, 81,000 miles, and it doesn't seem like it's given much trouble for anybody.
You know why? Because it's been driven.
That's true. Unfortunately, it doesn't apply to humans because I've been driven pretty hard and, well, look at me. Thank you so much for watching.